Hi guys, we're back with another Come With Me. I know, you read the title. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Can you believe it? This has just come out in Australian cinemas. Actually, tonight I'm gonna go see one of the premieres, but by the time you'll see this, it will be in Australian cinemas. Yes, we wait a long time for some films. Can't help it. But I did ask you guys on Instagram and on Twitter if you wanted me to still cover this. A little while ago I asked you, and you guys replied saying you did want me to still talk about this film, even though it's just a little bit overdue. So obviously the movie is based on the 1980s book by Alvin Schwartz of the same name, and the rights were actually acquired for this film in 2013, but it wasn't until 2016 that Del Toro signed on to develop the film. And then in 2017, I'm gonna say his name, but I'm definitely gonna get it wrong, Andre Overdal, a Norwegian director, signed on to direct the film. He also has done Trollhunter, which I spoke about in my last video. If you haven't seen Trollhunter, you need to go see it. And he did The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is kind of better known. I actually haven't seen any reviews on this because I knew I was going to eventually see it and I wanted to go in kind of blind. I did see some initial reactions from people either saying it was amazing or it was crap. So, which side of the fence will I sit on? We don't know. But before tonight, I was just looking up some information about the film, no spoilers, and I saw that Del Toro says that it's actually not an anthology film. I was under the impression that this was gonna be an anthology film, but he actually stated at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con that he didn't want it to be an anthology film. He said that the downfall of anthology films, which I kind of agree with this, is that they're just as good as their worst story, which when you keep that in mind, it kind of makes sense. So I understand that, but I really did think this was anthology, like up until this point. So it's gonna be very interesting going in and how it's kind of linked together. I read a little bit, but what I read, it didn't really make sense. I think I need to see it to understand. I already know it's gonna look visually amazing, and obviously a lot of, not really spoilers, but we know what it looks like because of the marketing campaign. They definitely put that out there. So it's just if it comes together in the story is what I'm interested to find out, and I'm a little bit worried that it's not going to by some people's reactions, but some people rated it like 7 out of 10, which I still think is a great score. So I'm hoping, I'm just gonna go into it. There's not a lot of pressure on this one. A lot of people have seen it, and I just wanna have fun. And before we get going to the cinema, if you are in Australia and you do wanna see this film, I have 5 double passes courtesy of Universal Pictures to give away. So just head over to my Instagram, which is spookyastronauts, and you can comment on my latest post and you go in the draw to win one. But enough promo, guys. Let's go check out this film. This is gonna be my last video before 31 Days of Horror, so let's go have some fun. Let's go, bye! So that's where we're going, but first, we need to go to Nando's, which is over here. I just finished watching Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I need to talk with like a vlog style like this. I guess more like handy cam style because this is the light I'm dealing with. So I hope you guys don't mind if I hold the camera during this portion, during the review. So I finally saw it. I can't even believe it. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, to be honest. I was more like, for 75% of the film, I'm like, man, this isn't that bad. I don't understand why everyone was saying it was so bad. And then the last bit really took a turn for me. The thing about the film is so funny because what I said to you earlier was that, you know, Del Toro thought that if he developed it more like not an anthology, because he thought that, you know, anthologies are just as weak as their worst story, it would be better. And I have to say, I understand his thought process on this, and I mean, I don't know if it was an anthology, if it would be better received, but I felt like it was just, it looks like it's just as bad as his worst story, which for me was like the last kind of scare, or I guess the second last scare technically. I think it was too much. I really did like a lot of what they did with the characters, and I really thought it was cool that they brought out a lot of Easter eggs for people who are familiar with the stories, and that's kind of what it is though. This movie isn't really one of those, you know, based on a book kind of movies that people fully appreciate if they haven't read the book. As said in the title, this is spoiler free, but I'm gonna tell you the movie is about a bunch of friends who discover this book that is connected to a folklore kind of tale in their town, and it starts bringing scary stories to life, I guess is the best way to put it. I did like the idea of the book being put into the movie. I thought that was really clever to tie in a movie about a book with a book. I got what they were doing, but there was a few issues. The tone was all over the place, which, I mean, more and more we're seeing a lot of horror movies that they go into comedy and then go back into scary, but this one was very confusing, the tone, because the dialogue was very much mixed in. There was also very much stereotypical characters, like the jock and, you know, like the sister and all that kind of stuff, and sometimes that's okay, but the chemistry between especially the friends wasn't all there. I don't think the acting was bad, and I don't think the dialogue was bad. It was just the chemistry between the friends. It just didn't work for me. So it didn't sell me when it was meant to sell me at the start. It was hard to explain because I really felt like all of the elements were there. For one, to play great homage to a book that a lot of people love. Two, to tell a story in a scary, fun way, but it just wasn't tight enough. It wasn't woven enough for it to be clever. I feel like even the first story, which you'll see about the scarecrow, it doesn't really tie in with the rest of the movie. And although it's, you know, there's in a lot of these kind of movies where it slashes and all that kind of stuff, it still doesn't feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it goes with the flow. And that was the thing I wrote down. I wrote tone, flow, and chemistry, and those are the three things that didn't really mesh. The movie is not completely the worst thing I've ever seen. I got where they were going. I got the direction. I got that they didn't want it to be anthology. I understand all that, but I just don't think it clicked in the end. I felt like, again, the chemistry was the one thing that really let it off. But again, the story just didn't flow as well. It felt a little bit forced, and then with the stereotypical characters, it all seemed just a little bit janky. I was sitting at like a 6 earlier in the film, and then like a 7 at parts, because I really did like what they did with a lot of the visual effects and a lot of the characters. I thought that they did a really good job at matching what you thought they looked like, or, you know, bits and pieces from the book, but or from the books I should say, but some of them I just felt like was completely off, and the CGI just was a little bit intense in some parts. And I guess Del Toro is so well known for his practical effects, and especially like the way he makes characters look, creatures, characters, all that kind of stuff. And I felt like although there was hints and elements of that are shown in all of the marketing, it didn't really follow through exactly to what I was expecting. I felt like the best parts were in the marketing, and for that I just don't know. I think I'm gonna have to give it a 5. I don't think it was like the worst thing I've ever seen. Again, 5 is still like an average score. It's just not above or below. And I think that that's where it kind of sits for me. It's probably just average. So yeah, I was like, I wonder which side of the fence I'm gonna be on, and I guess I'm a fence sitter for this one. The thing what I look at with these kind of films is if they're original and if they're scary. And this film, I jumped in a couple of parts. I mean, it was silly jump scares, but I jumped, and the originality is definitely there. So it's like it had all the elements, but it just didn't tie in very well, did it? What did you guys think about this movie? I want to know. I can't wait to go and watch all of the reviews that I missed and just see what you guys think. I really want you guys to let me know in the comments what you gave it out of 10. And also, let me know what parts you did like and what parts you didn't like. I want a pro and con if you can do that, because I think it'd be really cool just to kind of pick out some good things and some bad things, just so mentally we all know where we're at with these kind of films. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And if you want to subscribe, 31 Days of Horror is literally around the corner, so come hang out with me all October. And if you're in Australia and you want to win tickets to go see this film, just go to my Instagram and you can find out for yourself what you think and give me your score afterwards. Just go and comment on my latest post, and please go there quickly because it's gonna be over very shortly, so you want to get in before I pick winners. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I can't wait to see you guys in 31 Days of Horror. Stay spooky, guys, and have a great weekend. Bye!